And we're back with the passing show on Harrowings Live with Hal Gill. I just decided I'd go online again to say, I was a little irritated at the end, but I'm irritated with humans mostly, not anybody in particular. So we are just about to pick up Lynn here by the National Press Club building. And I figure I could get away with a little dash cam video for a minute or two. I don't know if she'll want to go live with us or not. I kind of doubt it. Not really her thing, but I do think we make a great comedy duo. Still or a mirror style or something. She's always taking me down a peg, and that's fun. She thinks what I do here is a little creepy, but I'm not so sure she's wrong. I do like to go live, though, because I do think the passing show is interesting. Being on 14th Street Northwest here in D.C., not very far from the White House. F Street cuts across, and the White House is a little bit north of that. Um, yeah, it's interesting to me. You can see that there's a Loudoun County Transit bus moving there, commuters coming out, and Lynn will be coming along shortly, I expect. I'm just going to talk to you guys while we wait. Felton Stevens Jr. is joined. Bobby McCobe, welcome back. As I mentioned a little bit ago, I was a little testy at the end of my conversation because people keep thinking people are responsible enough to govern themselves, where I think we need help in that regard. I think we can rely on well-coded, ethical AI to solve a lot of humans' problems before we make ourselves extinct by dropping birth rates, by pollution, by environmental disasters, by pandemics, by, nuclear war, a lot of things we could, if we had some of the controls taken out of our hands and allowed our tech to take care of us as we ought to be taken care of, as opposed to operating on our own hypothalamus driven stuff of like feast or famine and fight or flight all the time. We could maybe figure out better solutions where we stay as opposed to run, or, we restrain ourselves from violence in particular. I think that a lot of us are very violent in our nature. I mean, I am. I've got quite the temper. And if anybody says, boo to me, I'm apt to, let them know that I'm offended. Christopher Hitchens did a great segment on I'm still trying to figure out what your point is. So you're offended. Doesn't mean anything. It just means that your value system has been challenged. And maybe you need to think about that. Maybe you need to think about your perspective on things. I don't know. We're watching the traffic go by as I should have put my flashers on, to indicate that I'm sitting here waiting for a handicapped lady to come out of the door. And she'll be coming, and I'll probably just cut us there. I don't want to put her on the spot and say, hey, honey, we're live on Substack on the passing show. Harrowings live with you and me. It will just be me. So that's that. I'm having a good time doing it. I'm looking around and observing and thinking, everybody is caught up in their own little world. Most of us are very myopic. We only see things from our perspective. I know I do. I know my perspective is limited and distorted. I only know a little, and I could be wrong. And there's meditations on permafrost has joined. That's a good thing to meditate on. I mean, the permafrost is beginning to melt, and a lot of methane's being released. It's an important feature. I don't know if that's why you call yourself Meditations on Permafrost or not. I haven't seen you here before, remember. Although you may have tuned into the passing show before, and if you have, welcome back. The passing show is just a little raw journalism, a little who, what, when, and where. We're right outside of the National Press Building here on 14th Street and F. Across the way, there's the Hamilton Restaurant, a nice little venue there for music downstairs called Hamilton Live. It also has a loft upstairs where live music happens after hours. So, if you're ever in D.C., hit me up. We can go down to see a show at the Hamilton. If anybody is in D.C., in fact, you should hit me up. I'd love to meet other Substackers in person. It's always fun. Just dropping in looked interesting. I'm glad it does. I try to be interesting. We've been talking a lot about AI lately, and with AI, about the UN General Assembly about to meet the 80th General Assembly. and the things that are going to be going on there relating to tech in particular. But also, of course, we've got a lot of other issues to tackle. I understand the Palestinians will not be there this year. They have not been denied visas, so they can't be represented in the UN. It's an interesting situation. Well, Lynn's here, so I'm going to cut it here. And thanks for joining. All good. End live video. End live video.